Hey guys, it's Hein again. Today we're going to take a quick look at how we can get agents to work together. Now, as our agents become more and more complex and more sophisticated, leveraging one agent to do everything, every single connection we have, every single action or tool we want to take, might become quite convoluted, and our agent becomes a bit more generic, our system prompt becomes convoluted, and ultimately the quality of that agent is going to start to degrade. So what we can do in that space is have a scenario where agents can talk to each other, and I can have these little micro agents, right? So in the example we're going to take a look at today, I've got a teaching assistant which does, help me write a lesson plan and help me write a rubric, those kind of things. And then we've got this idea that we've got a special needs support assistant, right? So the NCCD is an education concept in Australia. So we're not going to go into too much detail about that, but ultimately what we want is when a teacher asks a question or has a query about anything special needs, we want to delegate that query to the NCCD agent. And what we're going to do is to go pass any query to that agent. And right now this agent doesn't do too much, right? But just some basic descriptions, some general instructions, and we've got access to the NCCD public website to go and collect any information we want. So that's really, really cool. So what that means is as I'm passing this conversation to this agent, it's got full context of what the teacher might have asked. It's got its own data, and ultimately, which we're not showing right now, it will have its own tool set, right, which is particularly important because that's really, really helpful. So what we need to do first of all is in our agent, when we've created this particular agent, I need to go to settings, and I need to say let other agents connect to this one, right? So that's very important, otherwise it's going to stay disabled. Once I've done that, I can publish this agent. You have to publish this agent at least once, otherwise the other agents won't know about it. Then I'm going to go back to my teacher assistant, and it is as simple as adding an agent like we would add a tool. So this is one of those things that just the platform does so well. It's really, really good. So I've tested this a little bit, and it's perfect, right? I can go and change my description. So like we have a description for a tool, we've got this description for an agent, right? Which is good. So my teacher agent has the context of what the NCCD support assistant does. It's got its whole spiel. I can optionally pass the history to the agent. I haven't seen scenarios where I wouldn't want to do that, so I'm going to keep that tick, and I'm going to add the agent. Okay, so that took a few seconds to do. As I can see in my agent now, I've got my NCCD support assistant under agents. So what I'm expecting is if I ask a question around anything special needs or anything NCCD, that it would delegate it to the NCCD support assistant. So if I had to ask a question of my teaching assistant, what are the NCCD adjustment levels? What we're hoping to see here is that it actually delegates that to the NCCD agent. As we can see it did, it passes through that conversation history. It looks through its knowledge source, and it gives us the response that we would need. So that's perfect. We can see here where it found its information from. So it really is as easy as that. If I then publish this agent, that will be available. But an important thing to note here, and it's just this might catch you off guard, is when I go to my agent now, when we have these complex nested set of agents, if I go to my agent, I can go to click on that one, advanced, add all required objects. Now previously I created a video that this might be a little bit tricky when we're publishing, and there's some things that missed. subsequent to that video, I actually explored what our options are. So adding the required objects would just go and basically look at the entire dependency tree, add all of those to my solution, and then I've got these two packaged together, right? So when I'm deploying my teacher agent to another environment or another tenant completely, I've got all the required objects together. So yeah, nice and easy. Very, very well done, Microsoft. Still having issues with the prompts. This is still remarkably complex. I don't know why it has to be so challenging. Um, so yeah, all right, guys. So that's a nice and easy one for today. I'm going to leave it right there. So yeah, catch you next time.